Hi everyone, my name is Etim Effiong and I'm an actor, a filmmaker and a scholar. Don't forget to subscribe to Zamari TV for more exciting content.
Etim Effiong worked in the Nigerian oil and gas industry before deciding to follow his passion in the entertainment industry. He obtained a bachelor's degree in motion picture arts at AFDA Johannesburg, South Africa. He started his career with the web series God Damn It It's Monday and also starred in Danny TV's Giddy Up as Falari. He also has roles in Castle and Castle and everything in between. Etim Effiong is a director, content producer, and a trained chemical engineer.
Yeah, so we're going to start off with your big switch,
Okay.
Leaving the oil and gas industry and saying that you want to be in the creative industry.
Right.
What was that process like for you?
Right, so I started my interest in entertainment and in creativity and the creative industry whilst I was in university. So every time I came back home, I would be involved in the arts. When I went back to school, I had to switch mentally to focus on engineering. However, while I was in school, I also ran in the fellowship in school, because I belonged to a Christian fellowship in school, and I was heavily involved in the drama unit, so I always used to act. And then at some point I started my own independent theater outfit in school. So I always did that as an extracurricular activity or as a hobby, acting, directing, telling stories, all of that. So it was always something I was interested in. So when I finished engineering, when I was done with my degree and I came out and I came to Lagos to serve, I always knew that I would find what I'll find its level. I always knew that somehow I'd be involved in the arts, and true to that, a friend of mine would call me up, hey, do you want to come on set to help me do this? Hey, do you want to play this role? So I managed both, for a bit, and because I had a 9-to-5 in engineering, in oil and gas, I had a 9-to-5, and so I had this meeting one time with my uncle, and he said, he sat me down and he had this, frank conversation with me, and he said, Daniel, I'll tell you the truth, you have to make a choice. You have to decide what you want to do with your life. You can't keep going back and forth, this engineering today, entertainment tomorrow. Decide what you want and go after it, Because at the time I was trying to make a switch to another oil and gas firm, a bigger oil and gas firm. And so I had gone to speak to him about it because he was huge in the industry. Yes, and so I went to have this conversation with him that, can you help me do this and do that? And he's like, yeah, but I know you're also interested in this, in the entertainment industry. What do you want to do, Daniel? Make up your mind, At the time, I'm sure he was telling me that to just get me serious and get me focused on engineering and focused, on oil and gas. But after that discussion with him, I went back home and I said, seriously, Daniel, what is this? What is this back and forth? Today you're an engineer, tomorrow you're an actor or you're a filmmaker. What really do you want to do? So I had to have that, self-reflection, if you may. And after that, I realized that I had to decide. I had to plunge fully into this entertainment or this creative industry that I believed so strongly in. And I decided to quit my job. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't tell my folks. I didn't tell family. I just went to work that morning, typed the resignation letter,
yeah,
and I tendered it, and that was it. And when the HR people, when they got it, they're like, ooh, Daniel, you finally got that job you're looking for, because everyone knew I wanted to leave that oil and gas firm to a bigger one. And so when I dropped that letter, they were like, ooh, congratulations, and all of that. So so the day, in fact, the same day, I went upstairs to HR, dropped the letter, I came downstairs to my desk, and I got an email. And the email was like, hey, would you like to come work with us? And Danny TV sent me an email, and I was like, whoa, you know, but walking the 2 or 3 minutes that it took me to move from my seat to the HR office was probably the longest in my life. Like it was hectic. I was scared, I was unsure, but I just knew that if I was to take the leap, then everything will fall into place.
From that space to now, you know, you look at the time when you made that decision to say, I'm going to leave all that I know.
Yeah.
I'm going to territory that I'm never familiar with.
Yeah.
Till now, if you were going to look at Daniel, you know, that year, what would you tell him?
I would say, follow your heart. It won't be rosy all the time. It won't be a smooth ride all the time, but it'll be worth it. Follow your heart. Do what you are. Do what you've always dreamed of doing, what you're passionate about, and just go. You know, go with the flow. You'll win in the end. Yes.
And you know, the first role that we really saw you in was when you played for Larry and Gideon.
Yes,
That was when I
Okay.
you know, got to experience, you know, your character and
Yes.
what you're doing and
Yes.
everything. And you've done other roles till now.
Yeah.
You know, how has it been in Nollywood so far? You know, acting and, you know, trying to diversify as an actor. You know, how would you say your journey has been in the industry?
It was all based on passion. So, so when I made the switch, I was going, you know, it was really interesting. People thought my work was quite interesting, but I wanted more. So, so after I featured in Giddy Up as for Larry, I left the country for about 3 years. In that time, you know, to go study filmmaking, because that's what I wanted to do, and I felt I needed some kind of formal training in it. When I left, in 3 years, things had moved on, and I always had people who would call me and be like, man, Daniel, where are you? You know, you would love you to be in this film or in that film, but you know, why can't you be around? Oh, I'm in South Africa, blah blah blah, studying film. It was hard for me because I felt I was missing out. But in hindsight, it paid off because I invested in myself. I spent 3 years to invest in myself. And I think I'm, you know, reaping the dividends of that. However, coming back after 3 years, it has been amazing. Growing through Nollywood has been interesting.
Has Nollywood been good to you?
Absolutely, Nollywood has been really good. I'm trying not to also stay, because I make films as well. I don't depend on just acting. I do a lot of behind the scenes. So if I was just only an actor, I'd probably have a different experience. But I'm not just in front of the camera, I'm also behind the camera. So combining the effect of both worlds, it has been really kind. The industry has been very kind to me.
Do you feel like art is spiritual though? Do you feel like
Absolutely. I think a huge part of what I do cannot be explained with 5 senses. So there has to be other senses, a 6th one, 7th one, if you like. But I do believe, because there are certain things I've encountered in my life, or certain ways I've expressed, you know, my ideas that are beyond, you know, what I can feel, touch, smell, see, hear. You know, so how do you explain that?
Nigeria is evolving to a space of social issues. Feminism is at the forefront of every discussion now. You know, how do you feel we need to start applying these issues? Because I think that's one of the things that is kind of lacking in the industry. So how do we begin to apply these issues to the kind of art that we put out?
I think first of all, we must be open to the discourse of these issues. I think society gets into trouble when they're closed-minded. I think first of all, we must be open-minded. We must, first of all, approach it with an open mind. These issues, feminism, sexuality, religion and politics, all these things. I think coming to the table, we must be open-minded first and understand that my truth may not be your truth. So coming to the table, be open-minded. Second, everything should be touched and everything should be discussed. So bring everything to the table and discuss it. I think we should never reach a point where society says, oh, we cannot talk about this issue because it's a sacred cow, it's a holy grail or whatever. No, everything must be talked about. Bring everything to the fore. Let's discuss it. Let us understand it. Let us ask questions. Let the enlightened speak and let the ignorant learn, you know, as it may.
Yeah, that's true though. And before we wrap up now, you are a married man.
Yes.
How is that dynamic? Because I know people always say that I'm married. How can I be married? My husband cannot be an actor. I'm not kissing other random people. Like, it's just very basic. I know to a lot to someone in the arts industry, in Nollywood or in the film industry, you feel like it should not be an issue. It's something. It's basic. It's acting. It's not. But to like the regular Joe out there, it's a big deal. You know, to have your partner in the industry. How does that work with you? You know, taking all forms. So not being a director and being an actor and all that.
Okay, so first of all, thank you for mentioning that I'm married. I'm not wearing my ring because I'm on set, and I just, I don't take my ring to set. How do we handle it? I think, first of all, like I mentioned before, it's coming to the table with an open mind. I think before we got married, we both understood ourselves and understood the kind of industry we were in and the kind of jobs that we do. And my wife is in the industry as well, media. I'm in entertainment and media, so she understands it. However, there's scenes she sees and she goes. The other day we're talking about the trailer that just came out, and she's like, "Daniel, that kiss was so real.
That was why
I feel so bothered. How could you kiss someone?" She's like, "How could you kiss someone so passionately?" And I'm like, "Doesn't that speak to the kind of actor that I am? Isn't that great acting?" And she's like, "I don't know." You know, but it's something we spoke about and ironed out the, you know, the rough edges, and it was okay. So speaking about it is a huge part of your communication, understanding yourselves and understanding what you're doing. And if you're sincere, except you're not being sincere, then you go into issues and trouble, you know. But if you're being sincere and you're open about it, you guys can sort it out. It's like any other thing.
Do you ever feel like, oh my God, like after like that scene, after you shot that scene, did they say cut and you're like, okay, so what's next? Or do you feel like, oh God, was that too intense?
What are you talking about? I'm superhuman. Okay, no. Okay, so of course I've had, growing as an actor, there were scenes there were sex scenes that I shot and came out with a boner after the scene. but growing as an actor, you know how to work with actresses that you might be attracted to, or you know, scenes that might be a little too personal. You know how to work out these things and where to put your mind and how to put, you know, your mind in compartments and work. You work with, as you grow as an actor, you know how to work these things out. So no, it doesn't happen anymore. So when I'm on set, I know I'm on set. Of course, it's even a science. You know, there's a science to it. Yeah, there's a science to it. You know where to put your mind in your pocket. Scene when you don't take your mind out. You know. However, there's some directors that want you to have that mind there so that it's real and all of that. But there are ways to work around it. It shouldn't be a problem. Never be a problem. Your work shouldn't cost you your family.
That's a quote right
That's
there.
all. That's a tweet.
That's a tweet. So what is your life mantra?
My life mantra is one word, is love. I believe in the power of love. I believe love makes everything right. Daniel loves to inspire. I'm built to push, encourage, inspire, energize people. So when I meet you, I want to leave you better off than I met you. You know, so I want to, when I go, you know, when I pass on to glory in the great by and by, I want to be remembered as someone who helped people move to a better place.
Hey, thank you very much, Daniel.
Thank you, Harry.